Hello, welcome to your Friday. This is week 65. It's the 23rd day of April 2021, and the warm weather's coming. I know you didn't ask, but I know this much. It's been cold and rainy again this week, but the warm weather's on the way, and that's why my dad used to always say, there's no beating the four seasons. We get through spring, and then we get summer. And by the time we're a little over the heat, here comes fall and then winter. So hang in there. It's going to get warmer and our outside activities will commence. Last week I asked a question, why do we care what other people think about us? Some of us don't care. Some of us think about it too much. Others are right in the middle. I'm not quite sure where I am, but I do know this much. I care what you think if you're important to me. And in that video, I got quite a few views, a lot of comments, and it means everything to me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button, posting comments or messages. And once again, thank you for watching Music Monday. Your views and comments mean everything to me. You take time out of your day and I appreciate it. The shout out today is going to go to anyone who has been married a long time, partnered a long time, with the same person. Let's say a spouse. When you commit to a relationship like that, you decide you're going to get through thick and thin, whether you're married or not. And I have the utmost respect for that. I've seen some pretty amazing things in relationships. And my shout out today goes to those who are committed to those relationships. If you're one of them, God love you. God bless you. If you know someone who's been in a long-term relationship, tell them you think it's pretty admirable. In thinking about what I wanted to talk about this week, I was reading one of my spiritual books. It's called Everyday Prayers for Men. I love this book. And it talked about our impatience with other people. And it referenced you being late to a meeting as opposed to someone else. Why is it we can always justify our actions, yet we get frustrated with those who do the same action? Well, then the next day, the question was paused. Why are we impatient with people who don't have the same urgency we have? By that, it was talking about maybe you put emphasis on being on time and someone else couldn't give a rip. And so I decided to do a little thinking and a little investigating, and something my mom said a long time ago came to mind. She said, what we dislike in others is what we hate in ourselves. I never forgot that. Always thought about it. And when I got online, I was surprised to find there are quite a few articles about that. I'm not going to necessarily focus on that whole idea, but I am going to take a look at what we can do in thinking about where we are impatient with others and does it relate to our actions. So I went to a website called medium.com and there was an article basically called What We Dislike in Others is What We Dislike in Ourselves. And it talks about why that is. And there are a couple of things it suggested for us to think about. And I love these things. The first being, do I see myself as a friend or a foe? So when you look in the mirror, what kind of a person are you to yourself? That's really interesting to think about, isn't it? What do we think of ourselves? I know some people who think pretty high and mighty of themselves, and others who really get down on themselves. Where do you fit in that spectrum? Also, how do I picture myself? If you're able to think about what you do on a daily basis and look at it from an outside view, it might give you some interesting perspective, right? How do others picture me? I know last week I did the whole topic about why we care. And again, I don't think it's crucial that we think about what other people think of us, but it is important. because we care about people, don't we? Do I love myself? All right, interesting question, but I do know this much. A long time ago, I was singled from a relationship and decided I was going to take some time to get to know myself. In that time, I was amazed. I could have fun going anywhere by myself, doing things on my own. And I learned quite a bit about myself. And I always say, if you can't love yourself, no one else is going to love you. It was an awesome experiment. Lastly, do you wallow in regret? I know I do at times. I think we all do. How could we have done things differently? It's very interesting to think about, yet we cannot constantly be thinking about our past. We have to think about moving forward, right? Okay, so then, if indeed there's something in someone else that you just can't stand, are you able to look at yourself and ask if that's the case? Perhaps what you don't like in them is something you really don't like in yourself. It could be their popularity. It could be their looks. It could be their economic status. It should simply be their personality. What is it in someone else that drives you batty? And if you figure that out and ask yourself if it's something you do, you might be interested in the results. Just something to think about today on this Friday. And now it's time for goofy jokes. I always get comments on the jokes. People seem to love them, and it almost seems the goofier the better. So let's get started. A friend of mine won Dentist of the Year. All he got was a little plaque. A guy says to the doctor, I think I'm addicted to Twitter. The doctor said, I'm sorry, I don't follow you. In today's, social media, all that stuff. Doctor, I think I'm a cat. Doctor says, how long have you thought that? He says, since I was a kitten. I should have said puppy instead of a cat, but it's all the same. Doctor, I hurt my arm in several places. Doctor says, well, stop going to those places. Like, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that. Oh, I've got more for you. I just flew in from Boston. Boy, are my arms tired. That's an oldie but a goodie. I saw a film about prehistoric pigs. It was called Jurassic Pork. Man, I love my new furniture. My recliner and I go way back. That's a bad one. My dad only hit me one time, but he was in his Buick when he did it. Okay. I was raised an only child. It really upset my sisters. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay. I told my niece I saw a moose heading to work. She said, how do you know he was going to work? I love that one. I love that one. I haven't spoken to my wife in years. She hates it when I interrupt her. Okay. When I was 6 years old, my family moved out of town. But I found him, don't worry about it. So that's all I have on this Friday. I hope you have a fantastic day, an amazing weekend, a beautiful week next week. As I always say, and truly, most importantly, God bless you. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.